Come on.
I muted us though. Unmute. Marry me, weirdos, and welcome to Bloody Book Club. I'm Gory B Movie, and with me today is my fabulous co-host,
Kayla.
Kayla.
We're gonna come up with a spooky name for me.
Yeah, we need something real spooky.
And I don't have one in mind.
Eventually, we're gonna get one. Okay, let's see who's in the chat. We got Why Not Ben. Hey Ben, I saw you over on Craven stream the other day. Nice to see you here. And we got Jason. Nice to see you. Danny is at work. I'm sure he is having an amazing night. Today we have Kayla.
Me, sorry.
Because she reads books.
Yeah.
And books are important, guys. Books are the future. Wait, that's children. I don't know what books are. They have words in them.
Everything.
And we got Fairpoint Station in the house. We got Retro Media Man. All the things are happening here. I'm pretty excited about the whole thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn on that light, though.
Okay. Did you just go over your toe? Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm really accident prone.
That's the second time that's happened.
Like, really accident prone. To the point that I'm not allowed to be unsupervised when my friend has a fire pit, because on many occasions, like more than thrice, I didn't notice that I was on fire. So,
really? Oh my god!
Like, I enjoy being warm, and then my foot's on fire, and they're like, "Haley, you're on fire!" And I'm, probably been drinking a bit too.
Oh, it feels good. It's fine.
Oh, it's good. Oh, I love that fire. So this is one which you just can't burn, or you can burn. I just don't care.
Yeah, you just don't feel it.
Yes. I did notice you, Senpai. What's up? Alrighty. So today we are going to be talking about the book we read this month, which is Clown in a Cornfield. We're going to keep this pretty spoiler-free for the beginning, so that if you haven't read it, maybe we can entice you to read it. Because it was actually, I think, the most fun I've had reading a book. Bloody Book Club this year since the first one.
Since the first one. It was the fastest for sure. It was easy. He's a good, clear author. That was a really fun, quick read. I liked it.
Yeah, it's I should have mentioned it's by Adam Cesar. I think hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I would have said it Cesare.
Cesare?
But I could be wrong.
Adam Cesare. Anyway, Adam is on YouTube and he's great. He reviews books. He does a lot of really cool videos because he has published quite a number of books. This is the first one I think that's really taken off. He had a really cute video where he's like, "We're gonna go see my book in the bookstore." I was like, "Oh, that's adorable." He's really cool. Gives great reviews, and I love his writing style.
Yeah, me too. I really liked it a lot. And he's got a couple other books I saw. It does have a sequel. We started reading it. We did not finish it. But I do plan on finishing it. And maybe checking out some of his other books. Maybe we can do another book for a book club like next year.
I think one of our because we picked themes.
Mm-hmm.
One of our themes at some point was to do a sequel. And we read 2 books now that have sequels out that I know we both liked the first book. So that was the Buffy book we read. We need to read the next one of that. And I started reading the second one of this, which is Friendo Lives. So, but before we get into that, so there's a sequel. Nice to see my buddy Rich here in the chat. I'm so excited. We're gonna hang out at CryptoCon soon. What up? He's lovely. You'll love him when you get to meet him. This is Kayla. You're gonna love her when you meet her. Okay. So what's it about?
It is about this girl, Quinn, who moves from Philadelphia with her father to a very
in West Philadelphia. Born and raised.
See, when I think of Philadelphia, the first thing I think of is Boys to Men. And then immediately followed by It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Motown Philly back again.
She was from Philadelphia to this very tiny town. I can't remember. Is it in Oklahoma or is it's something like that?
I think it's in Nebraska.
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere. I've never been because I've never been off of the West Coast.
Yeah.
West Coast. I don't think I did that correctly.
No, probably not.
I moved here from England. Give me a pass, guys. So, yeah, it's somewhere down where there's a bunch of corn and probably children in said corn, you know, above Texas, but not quite to Ohio. We're not getting into the John Hughes part of the country.
I feel like it was like Nebraska or something.
I think it is Nebraska. It's a town called Kettle Springs. See, look at this. Working together.
So she moves to this tiny town with her dad. Her dad is taking over the position of general practitioner. Because they just their doctor retired. Is that what the excuse was? Something like that. He retired. And she's a senior in high school. She's getting ready to graduate. There was an incident with her mother. You do learn that her mom died pretty quickly.
Yeah. I think we can say that without giving away spoilers. Her mother died in a way that's traumatic. Yes. Let's just put it that way.
So they're in this tiny town and she's got to get used to the way a small town is, and she gets in trouble like right off the bat. She falls in with the troublemaking crowd. Well, that's not how the book starts, actually. The book starts with the water tower.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right, I gotta get this dog that's upset. Come on, dog. Come on, dude. All right, we got dogs.
We got puppies. Hi, puppy.
We like dogs. We like books. We like scary stuff. It's a whole thing here. Okay.
They got haircuts. They look so nice.
Thank you so much. My friend in the chat is a professional groomer. But he lives too far away, so I had to do it myself.
You did great.
But I think they look pretty good. I like a shorn buttonhole on a dog. Nothing like a shorn butthole. Rich says, that's my boy. We might have lost somebody after I said shorn butthole twice in a row. Okay. You know, that's just a test to see if you can handle Bloody Book Club.
Yeah, shorn butthole.
It sounds even more classy when you say it. I like it. Okay, so the opening, it has like a cold open.
Yes.
So the cold open, we have a bunch of kids, they're being douchey and they're making TikToks or YouTube videos or whatever.
I think they're on YouTube. But they keep saying that they're live. So maybe it's like a Facebook thing.
It's hard to tell. They have some kind of live feed going and they're all down by like a lake or not it's like a hot springs. Yeah, reservoir.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be there. And they're all, you know, jumping into the water, being silly, flirting, drinking.
Yes.
And the star of the show is what's his name?
Cole.
So Cole is the heir to the town.
Yes.
Their town is built on corn syrup. It reminded me a lot of Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Sweetums.
Yeah. So they have a corn syrup factory that his family owns. And so he is rich.
Yes.
Very rich. And he's also insanely charismatic. Everybody loves Cole. And so when Cole's around, people look at Cole and they don't notice anything else, including his little sister, who is, what's she doing?
She is out. She's swimming. Well, she wasn't swimming to start with, but she ends up swimming out to the tower, right?
She goes up high to go do a dive.
Yeah. And tragedy strikes.
Oh, they're doing in a van.
So busy.
Look at that. We've got so many dashing men
So many
in the chat today. Dashing men, dashing. Like that one a lot. You have a Shih Tzu? That is awesome. I really like. I like little dogs. I'm a little dog kind of person. I just like a dog that I could pick up and smush it around in my face, like just like get all up in there. I mean, I like the big dogs too, but then I have to bend over, and we don't know if I'm always going to get back up. Yeah. So yeah, I like dogs. I
used to like little dogs until I had them, and then I'm like, I get it.
I get it. Well, and they always kind of have that puppy feel, like for forever.
They're just like babies.
You know, I always call them my babies because they are babies. I think I saw your new pup, Rich. Very funny. Ha ha ha. Oh no, he does have a new pup. Okay. I thought he was going to give away one of my dogs to Rich.
No,
he'd never.
No, not those babies.
All right, and nice to see King TL here. Nice, welcome. Okay, so I got my notes pulled up here. So yeah, she goes up there to do a dive, and I'm not spoiling nothing. This is the cold
this is in the very
open.
Beginning.
And she jumps, she hits her head on the way down, and not too long later, she dies in the ambulance. So this is a big tragedy. It's a year later. Cole isn't handling it well. He is in and out of trouble all the time. Yeah, he's just become kind of a troublemaker. Yes. And I
feel like he maybe could have been a little bit of a troublemaker before that, with considering like the way that their crowd was
more like prankster, you know.
They do like that's what their videos are, is like prank videos and stuff.
The thing he gets in big trouble for is so his dad couldn't handle it after he lost his daughter. He closed down the factory. Now the town's really upset because that is their bread and butter. Mm-hmm. They're not making money. Everyone's got these cornfields that are not doing anything with. They can't afford to get them properly cared for. And the father, who owned the factory, he can't deal. So he closed down the factory and he basically abandoned Cole. Mm-hmm. And Cole tried to burn it down.
And he got it like suspended or something like that from school, but that was his only repercussions to his actions. But yeah, then we have Janet, who he's right in the middle there.
Where is Ghostface? There he is. Right. Yeah, he's there somewhere. Sorry, I get distracted. Squirrel.
They're making What We Do in the Shadows Funko Pops.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm. I need the whole set.
I know.
It's really unfortunate.
I got a new wig. Yeah. It's kind of like a Nadia wig.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I know.
I love
super
that.
Excited. We're going so off topic.
Sorry.
I am bad. Okay.
So the other characters we have Quinn. We have her dad. His name is Glenn.
Yes, I like her dad. Her dad is very much like kind of the dorky dad where he's trying to do the right thing and give space. And the more he tries to be cool, like not cool, I mean as in chill.
Yes.
He's not like, I'm a cool dad hanging out with her friends.
He's not trying to be cool.
He just tries to be chill and give her space, and it just kind of comes off dorky. But because she lost her mom, Quinn is not like embarrassed by him. She just wants him to know that he's appreciated and loved.
She has to take care of him a little bit too.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of that. But yeah. Glenn Maybrook. Who did you let's look at your casting.
Yeah, I did. I feel like my casting for me worked out perfectly. Yeah. So for Quinn, I cast Zendaya kind of like how she is as Mary Jane in Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Because it for me fit the character. And again, it's not the where did I put it? Right there. There we go. There's also this website. There's pictures for you. Yeah. For the dad, I cast Key from Key and Peele.
Nice.
Yeah, especially when he has like glasses on and stuff. Like he doesn't always just do sketch comedy. Just like Jordan Peele, he has a serious side, and I feel like he's perfectly that really sweet but also kind of dorky vibe.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to just be all elbows and knees. So, for me, that's what I
like it.
I cast Sam Elliott as their sheriff, who's just kind of like Old West.
I pictured somebody much bigger. Like, I don't know who I would pick. I'm
like the sheriff from Scream.
Maybe I don't remember the sheriff from Scream.
I think he is supposed to be bigger. I don't know if my pick was like ideal.
Kind of like who was that guy? He was on the Blue Collar Comedy Show. the
Get Her Done guy?
Ron White.
Oh, that's a
Ron
good
White.
one. That's a good one.
That's more who I pictured.
I
Somebody
like that.
big and serious and
yeah, I wasn't
mean.
entirely happy with that one, so I
Yeah.
like it. Ginger, she's not in it that much. She kind of
No.
seems like she's going to be a big character. But I cast Brianna Hildebrand, who's in Deadpool.
I do not recognize her. I'll be honest with you.
She's in Deadpool.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what else to tell you. She's in some other stuff too. For Rust, who is kind of like it's her neighbor, and he's kind of a hick.
Yeah.
You know,
he embraces that,
and he does. He likes to go shooting. He he doesn't really care about being pop. Yeah. He's not super social. Charlie Heaton, you guys know from Stranger Things and one of the X-Men movies.
Yeah, he kind of looks like that kid from Terminator.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Hopefully
it turns out better.
Rustin picked somebody a little more like Midwestern looking.
Okay.
Did you ever watch the show Bones?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Grant. He's like the most Midwestern looking of her interns. He's got like kind of blondish hair. Michael Grant is his name. Yep, that kid right there. No.
Oh, he's good.
No, that's not the kid. That's not him. Type Bones. Sorry, this feels really like all over the
I don't care.
Okay. That kid. That's what
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's our show, and as long as we have fun,
then that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Anyway, look him up. Michael Grant from the show Bones. He was who I picked for Rustin. And on that same, he's older, so I don't think that it would be appropriate in this movie. But we're talking in my head. That's who I pictured. And then for Cole, I picked Alan Richman, who Doug loves. He did one of the voices in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shows. He's like kind of bulky and like football-y looking. He's cute.
I have to look him up. I saw who you put on there. I read it as Alan Rickman. I'm like, huh?
No, Alan.
Like from Harry Potter.
Alan Richman.
I went with Cole Sprouse, who most recently he needed a lot of Zach and Cody stuff back in the day, but most recently he did Riverdale.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to have kind of a Jared Leto-y look with the long bangs and stuff, and
almost like a Skeet Ulrich kind of a
Skeet Ulrich-y thing, and he's supposed to be really charismatic. The girl from All the Boys I Loved Before, Lana Condor, is who I picked for Janet, who's kind of the mean bitchy girl.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
My Ronnie pick, she's supposed to be kind of like low classy, kind of. I don't know what else to call her.
She's the friend. She's the bitchy friend.
Yeah. So Janet's like the high classy version of the mean girl.
Yes.
Whereas Ronnie's the low classy version. The wrong side of the tracks kind of girl.
Yeah.
I picked Peyton List from Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, I see that. She would be a good one.
This was just somebody else's pick. I just went with it because I thought it looked good. And
this is a fun site. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, do it. There's a link in our book club. By the way, if you want to join the bloody book club, it's on Goodreads. There is a link in the description below. We have our books set up for the entire rest of the year, so you can see what we're reading, see if it interests you. I take a break every quarter of the book and post my little update on what I think of the book so far. We've got a couple people in there. We're getting a discussion going, which I think is the fun part of this.
Yeah.
We talk about what we're liking about the book. I think it's most fun to do like our theories, like what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I liked the way you did it. I barreled through this book, but I will get better in the future about breaking it up. The next one I'll do better at taking notes. I just kind of barreled through it, and then I like to think on things and report my findings after the fact. That's how I
like that.
Process.
But you can always join in afterwards too.
Yeah, but then I feel like I'm just gonna blend it all together. I like your method. I'm gonna work harder on reading that way.
It's still a new book club. We're figuring it out. So we do like who would you cast in there? We do lots of fun stuff. So
which that's my favorite game. I said, I'm not good at it, but I love it.
I think the fun of a book club is like reading's kind of a solitary thing.
Yeah.
And a book club makes it a social thing. Yes. Like I think it encourages people to read more. It certainly has encouraged me to read more. So if you guys have been meaning to get around to reading, especially reading some horror books and you don't know where to start, this is a great one. It's an easy read.
Very easy. 200 pages, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really easy.
It wasn't long.
And they are making a Netflix series.
Yes.
Movie. Right?
It's a movie.
I think it's going to be fun. So in my mind, I'm seeing something kind of like those babysitter movies. Did you see
Like
that?
maybe like the Fear Street ones?
Kind of like those, but they were called The
I didn't see-
Babysitter. They were
I
good.
didn't see the babysitter ones. I saw the Fear Street ones.
They're very similar. They're very similar. So that's kind of how I'm hoping this movie turns out. I'm excited to see
Retro
what it
Media
does.
Man said he was in Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, that Alan Rickman guy. Doug
I'm
Watson.
gonna have to look him up.
He's pretty beefy.
Yay, why not? Ben's having fun and he likes Peyton.
Thanks, why not, Ben?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
part of here's what's really interesting. I think is a good marker of a good author.
Mhm.
So you have that cold open. So you do have some horror right away.
Right away.
And that sets up this conflict. The central conflict of this is old generation, like old school generation.
Yes.
Small town, old generation with this new generation. You know, a lot of times I think in the past, if you lived in a small town, you kind of grew up small town,
Mhm.
but we have the internet and stuff now. So teenagers are connected to stuff all around the world, regardless of where they live.
And they don't have to stay small town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So these kids are a little resentful about being small town. They play a lot of pranks and stuff. They're not accepting the town.
Mhm.
And the older generation is resentful of them.
Yeah.
They've lost their industry because of these kids, in their opinion.
Yes.
I don't think we can really blame the kids for
No,
everything, but
no.
in their opinion, they've lost their industry and the kids are ruining this town. They're ruining the values of this town.
Mhm.
And everybody looks to the sheriff for direction.
Yeah.
He's like their leader.
Yeah. And the mayor, like you read this in the book, the mayor is really not respected at all.
No, he
Gets booted out of a meeting and everybody like just wants the sheriff's word because the sheriff like empowers them, doesn't calm them down. Yeah. That sheriff is kind of
he's very
a problem.
Old West.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
He
like,
runs this town.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's been a year and then it's like it's a slow cooker,
Mhm.
you know, because what's really interesting, like you read this and you're like, okay, where's clowns? And I'm like, is it supernatural?
Yeah.
What's going to go on here?
Mhm.
There actually are no clowns until halfway through the book.
Yeah. Well, the town mascot is a clown.
There you go.
So that's the only thing that you really get about the clown. His name is Friendo. And that's really it. They wear costumes and stuff to like be the mascot. But you don't get any of what the clown is capable of until later.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know that he's the mascot, but you know, we don't really know. And so, they have a big parade, a big festival, like a lot of small towns have a festival,
Mhm.
and the kids are going to throw, they set off firecrackers and some kids get hurt.
Yeah.
And so that's
At the
kind
parade,
of the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah. Everything kind of goes downhill really quickly from there. They're going to go out to the cornfield. They're going to have their little senior night party.
And yeah, from there, everything else happens in one night.
Yeah.
And there are lots of clowns, lots of clowns.
Yeah.
I will say, before we get into spoilers or anything, it's not supernatural. So if that's a turnoff for you, it's not. This isn't
Mhm.
like Pennywise or It. It's not supernatural, and it's I was kind of anticipating early on, I was getting Scooby-Doo vibes.
Yeah, because of the way that the friends were. Is that kind of what you were, or
More so because I knew there was going to be a masked killer,
Yeah.
and I knew it was going to be one of the older generation.
Oh, like
and-
a whodunit more of a thing.
Yeah.
But it didn't end up being
This
that
isn't
way.
really that.
No.
It's more like the entire, it's like Children of the Corn, but with adults instead of kids.
So I wrote down in my notes Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. It really reminded me a lot.
A lot
of
like that. Like the whole town turns
Yeah.
against these kids.
Yes.
And even they don't know who to trust. Like
Yeah.
there might be a couple, I won't tell you who, there might be a couple of adults they can trust.
Mhm.
There might even be some kids they can't trust.
Mhm. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know what's going on. You don't know who's behind it. You just know that there's a lot of people involved. A lot of people are really angry. And it is so violent. It's so violent and horrible. It's horrifying what happens to these kids. It's a true massacre.
Yeah, and I think it helps because one, all that buildup did help you. Like, I feel like you really care about the characters. I really didn't want anything bad to happen to these kids, even though they're kind of brats. I got them like your worst characters, you see different sides of them. They're
Mhm.
complicated characters.
Yes.
So there's no like, oh, they're the good character and then they're the bad character.
Yeah.
They're complicated
Mhm.
and you know, you're rooting for them and it, like you said, it gets really, really bloody. This is a YA book, but
Is it really?
yeah,
It did not feel like it.
it's
It did not feel like
it's
it.
a slasher. I
Yeah.
would categorize this if it was a movie as a slasher.
Absolutely.
They're in a barn out in the middle of the woods where there's tons of teenagers.
They're just
you
having
know,
a party.
and it starts off very much like You're Next with like arrows and stuff.
Mhm.
It's brutal. They
Yeah.
want to exterminate these children.
Yes. It's horrifying. They like heads being chopped off and arrows going through people, and it's really disgusting.
It was awesome.
But really fun. It was really fun, but really bloody.
And what's cool is I think a trap a lot of authors fall into is when it comes to action, they over explain every little thing, and that the more words you have, the more it slows it down because you have to read all those
Absolutely.
words. And so some authors don't understand that when the energy is amping up,
Mhm.
you need to use less words
Just
and
action.
choose the words carefully
Yeah.
to set the scene. This author gets that.
No, he did. He did a
He-
really great job.
Perfectly paints the scene
Mhm.
and he gets that going.
Yeah.
Something I think we see with a lot of experienced authors, but for somebody as young as he is, I know
Mhm.
he's written a lot of books. I was just really impressed.
Yeah. So Danny says, what does he say? Scream but clown face. Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like that. I definitely towards the end and in starting to read the second book got new Scream kind of vibes from it more than old Scream vibes.
I got a little bit like what Danny said, kind of like a reverse Children of the Corn.
I haven't seen Children of the Corn in a really long time.
Just without the religious stuff,
Yeah.
but the kids basically are like, we're going to get rid of all the adults. In this
It's
town,
more like, I mean, this one feels not religious, but like socioeconomic, like political almost. But
yeah.
yeah.
So it's interesting. And it's not like Scream in the fact that Scream, it's a high school kid
Yeah.
underneath it, maybe like the new one.
Yeah.
It's a high school kid. And this is you know what? I wouldn't even say Scream because there's a good 20 some odd and they're organized. They have walkie talkies.
Mhm.
They know where they all are. They have it planned.
Like I said, Hot Fuzz.
They
very much
more
Hot
like
Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz. I
Yeah.
think you had it on the
Yeah.
nose there. And they are adults. They have
Yeah.
skills. They have professions. You know, they
Mhm.
know how to shoot guns and stuff. So these
Yeah.
kids are really outmatched. Like, you know, I think it plays with a lot of stuff. When it plays with like, I think how, you know, older generations now, like your boomer generation is threatened by, you know, they didn't grow up with the internet and stuff and how
Mhm.
that's changing people and it's
Yeah.
changing small communities and they're worried about their communities losing their identity.
Mhm.
I think from the kid point of view, it brings to mind a lot of like the school violence stuff.
Yeah. I was thinking about that too towards the end. I was kind of thinking about like the Sandy Hook thing, like all those like kids, like it's very much you can tell like I don't know how old this author is, but like, you know, when we graduated, it was like Columbine happened, right? It was like at the end. So we got barely any of this school violence.
Columbine happened like right after.
Yeah, I think it was like my junior or my sophomore year. So like I can't imagine what it feels like to go to school and fear that kind of thing.
The only reason I can
You have a high schooler.
is because my son's in high school.
Yeah.
And so it's more, I more relate to like the parent in this.
Mhm.
So obviously Glenn is
Yeah.
mild spoiler. We find out that if you're not with us, you're against us.
Yeah.
They got rid of the former doctor.
Yeah.
Because he was not on board. Nope, he gone.
Yeah.
And Glenn he's just trying to get to his daughter because he understands that the adults in this town are insane.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to get to his daughter and he doesn't know where she is. But I do like that their relationship is really good. He trusts her. There's not,
he knows she's capable. He knows he trusts her.
But that's still his child.
He wants to make
he's
sure
afraid
she's
for her.
okay, and there are people after her, and yeah,
it's
really scary.
It's a scary situation, like to find out that your child is being hunted.
Yeah.
They are being hunted. Like they're not. They've got all kinds of stuff. And God, as far as the horror goes, there are some scenes in this that are chilling.
Yeah.
Like really chilling. I won't tell you which character is, but I think The part that creeped me out the most is there's somebody who's dying and they're singing the Babe Pin jingle as they're dying. Like a little drop of Babe Pin makes everything better. Like it's something that creeps me out.
It almost felt like the people who were doing the murdering and the massacring were like in a trance. Like I wanted that to be happening because they did not stop. There was no slowing these people down. And it was really just who they were and what they wanted to happen. There was nothing supernatural about it, but I was like, oh, what if they had the corn syrup and it like made them all,
that would have been interesting.
But it wasn't like that, which makes it even scarier, I think.
That would have been interesting. Here's another thing. I think it's a huge improvement from the last book we read. He has written this in close third person. So we know the thoughts of the characters, but it's not in like an I, point of view. However, he does bounce around from different characters depending on who has the best point of view. He makes it very, very clear whose head we're in. And he makes it very, very clear when we're switching to another character. And he never does it in the middle of a paragraph, which is like really confusing. So I liked that. I thought he did that very effectively, and it gave us a chance to get to know. There's one character, Janet, who initially is just like such a turd. Yeah, she's such a mean girl, isn't she? And yet she has a great chapter from her point of view, and I feel like he really understood his characters. And I really liked how nobody was like, well, aside from the adults who are killing people. Nobody was like a villain, like of the kids. They're shitty little kids.
Yeah, they're just shitty kids. They're just turds.
They're just turds.
I love when people call other people turds. That makes me so happy. I don't know.
Everyone's talking about Doinks in the chat. Doink was a clown, right? Yeah, Ben says, I work with clowns, but they don't wear costumes. I hear that, brother. Is Jonathan Davis in it? No. I don't know who that is.
Was he the guy who Jonathan Davis? Was he the guy who was in Cabin at the End of the World? No,
maybe.
Is that who I'm thinking of?
I don't know. I mean, it's a book, dude. I guess he's in it if you want him in it.
And you had written.
Take a look. It's in a book. Make it whatever the flip you want it to be.
You had written in the Goodreads thing that the guy who's doing the movie on Netflix was the same guy who did Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yes, which is super fun.
I love that movie so much.
I love it.
It's one of my favorites.
So precious.
They're so cute.
Really.
And when I went to read your comment, I actually was watching that movie. I was like, oh,
that's cool. Yeah, I'm really excited for the Netflix movie. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It is so much in the vein of something.
Singer in Corn.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, because they're in the. I got you. Clever. Yeah, the cover art's great.
Yeah.
Danny gives it a Pennywise out of He Who Walks Behind the Rose. Danny hasn't read it, but Danny gets it. Danny is just, he's almost, when you've been with somebody a long time, you can kind of absorb their knowledge through osmosis. So he's kind of read it because I've read it.
Yeah.
Kids are shitty, Danny. Corn is Movie Massacre's favorite band. So you should read it to support Corn. There's a lot of corn in this book.
There's so much corn.
There's so much corn.
So much corn. Yeah, I'm excited. It was a really great book. I don't know what else we have to say about the book itself, but it was really good. I probably will finish the second one at some point, depending on how fast this next book is to read. I just got distracted, and then I'm reading this other fantasy series.
I think if I sit down and read it, because I mean it's so fast. Without spoilers, the second book isn't as good.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just the problem is this book is so well constructed. So your first half of the book, it's setting up this conflict between one generation and another generation. And it's just like, it's like a pot that's boiling. And you're like, the lid is going to fly off this thing. Mm-hmm. And it does. Yeah. And then after that, it's a slasher movie until the very end. Yes. And so it's go, 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 go.
Yeah.
The next book, it starts off a lot more character driven. We get some new characters. It doesn't, you're half kind of like, where is this going?
Mm-hmm. And I got a little bit farther than you did, and I see where it's going, and I want to know. I want to know what's happening. I don't know. I can't say anything.
It's gonna be. It looks from what I've gathered. I'm about 37% in. This one is gonna be at like a haunted attraction in the same cornfield. And there's gonna be new friendos, and probably I'm assuming his. I'm not gonna get into that. Anyway, there's a lot more character drama.
Yes.
And that's kind of putting me off. And some of the stuff that's going on with the characters, I'm not loving.
Yeah, I agree. It makes it slower, and it when in reading it, it feels slower too. Like, because it kind of, I know what happened in the first one, and then seeing like kind of what's going on in the second one, it's like, well, it's kind of like more of the same, and then all the character drama. So I feel like I'm stopping more. Like, I'm not needing to go as quickly as I did with the first one. But it's interesting. Like, it's fun. He's a really good author. He knows how to write. Well, I don't know. I'll finish it.
So what did we like most about the book?
What did we like most about the book?
I'm going to say the writing style.
Yeah.
It's super easy breezy, cover girl.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Great building up of the conflict and world building. Yeah. Like, he came up with the slogan for the syrup company and everything. Like, he really thought about this world and really developed it. And great gore. It's like really it's a horror movie, guys. It's a horror movie.
I think what I liked most about this book, actually, which is the thing I like the least about the second book, strangely enough, is the characters. Like, their interactions with each other, and they are kind of shitty, but like they don't deserve what happens to them, right? And so they're going through this horrible thing all together, and who survives and who doesn't. And what it means to get out of it, And so I feel like the building of those characters initially was my favorite part of the first book, and seeing how they get through the horror together.
Being shitty as a teenager is just your rite of passage. Absolutely. You'll outgrow it. Yes. I feel like these kids, like they're decent kids. They're just being shitty little punks. They have small town itis. They're just pushing their boundaries because they want out.
Yeah.
No, they absolutely don't deserve this. Nobody deserves this.
Absolutely not.
So, let's get into what we don't like about the book, which is going to get into some spoilers. I would say I was 5 stars in this book right up until the end, and then I had to dock a star. Yeah. The ending wasn't my favorite.
It was a little, disappointing. There was a moment that we both agreed felt a little cheap.
All right, spoiler warning.
Spoilers. Things are terrible. Cole's almost gonna be hung. Quinn swoops in and saves the day, and she looks over and she sees Cole and Rust kiss.
Yeah, they had one scene together early
build
on.
up to this.
One scene, and it's established that they used to go like hunting and stuff as kids. They were like friends for a while, and then basically Cole got cool and popular, and Rust didn't. And you get the impression that Cole is threatened by Quinn giving Rust attention, and so he's trying to like, look at me. There is nothing developed between him and Rust, and then out of nowhere they're kissing.
Yeah, it was really. It just didn't feel like. I don't know. It just didn't feel like what was supposed to happen.
For me, it felt.
Yeah.
It felt cheap.
Yeah.
We've actually, it's been really interesting. Every book we've read this year has been LGBTQ+. Yeah. I'm LGBTQ+, and I think we started off great with Cabin at the End of the World. It's a beautiful love story.
Gorgeous.
The Buffy book we read had it, and I think it was well done. But I feel like right now, especially with young adult books, I feel like publishers are pushing that you need to have some LGBTQ+ inclusion. And I feel like a lot of straight people who are uncomfortable with the idea are trying to do it either because they notice the trend or they're being told to do it. And you can sense their uncomfortableness. So it feels like last minute, he's like, I'm going to have them kiss because what a twist. And it felt really cheap. Like he was told he had to have some inclusion in it. And then we don't really see any follow-up with them.
No. Well,
there's one scene.
You do in the second book.
Well, yeah, we'll get to the second book in a second. But it just felt, especially because, the book gets the LGBTQ+ label. It really doesn't deserve it.
No, not at all. I agree. And like we were saying a little bit, like we know quality romance LGBTQ writing when we see it these days. And it just didn't feel that way. It just didn't feel that way.
It didn't at
It
all.
felt like
And
an afterthought.
I'm not saying that if you're straight, you can't do it. The
No.
author of Cabin at the End of the World is straight.
And that was beautiful.
And
That
it was
a beautiful
beautiful.
story.
But with some authors, you get the impression that they're uncomfortable. I got the impression with the last author, like it's almost like you don't know anybody who's gay, do you? And they treat them differently.
Yes.
You get the sense of otherness in the writing of them trying to be inclusive. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
I would say to any author, write it like you would a straight relationship. Love is love.
Love is love.
This isn't written like that. This is written like, oh shit, I was supposed to include that.
Yeah.
The other thing I didn't like is it got a little James Bondy at the end.
Kind of, yeah, with Quinn and like her stalking around the house, and it did get a little spy.
Yeah, fair
espionage.
point. Shoehorning. That's perfectly how to put it.
Yeah.
So at the end, the dad gets away and he like, I get that they're rich and stuff. He like jet sets and it's like, next time, Gadget. Next time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where that's going yet because we're in the second book and I haven't gotten to the dad yet.
So spoiler alert, Cole's dad is really the driving force behind this whole massacre, which caught me off guard. I was like, oh my God, the dad.
I called that.
I did not.
In my notes.
I know you did, but I did not catch it.
All that Scooby-Dooing.
And
paying off.
Professional. I was horrified. And he was gonna hang his own son. I couldn't believe it. So that was pretty shocking, and like all those townspeople who were behind it. I don't remember where I was going.
No. You were shocked by the dad.
Yeah.
And the reveal of the dad at the end.
Yeah, and then he jet sets. He gets away. Yeah.
So that was a little weird. I didn't hate it, but overall, solid 4-star book.
Yeah.
So, what were our categories again? So for like writing, I'd give it like a 5.
Yeah.
For story, 4.
Yeah.
Horror,
a 4.
Solid 4.
Yeah.
Characters, 4.
Yeah.
Overall, this is a 4-star book.
4.
It's definitely well above average. It's, I would say, even 4.5.
I feel like that's accurate. I agree with all your ratings.
We don't get half stars in Goodreads. It's just a luxury we don't have in Goodreads.
We can make our own.
Yeah, we can.
4.5.
4.5, baby.
Yeah.
I just took a little off there. Now, I am still reading Cornfield 2. For me, it's a lot slower.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because that's where I was like, before I was like, I was kind of excited at first to see more of Cole and Russ. I'm like, okay, now we get to see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe some justification of what was happening. I actually was hoping for like a scene I missed because it really came out of nowhere.
Really
I know for a fact I cannot go up to a random guy or girl and just kiss them and have that be okay. That's not how the world works.
But it was like they wanted to do it, but like, I don't know, it felt, I honestly, and especially reading the second one, it felt like a trauma response.
I felt like we missed a scene where they had talked or something earlier.
And maybe the movie can do a better job.
I hope so. I really hope that I wish they just would have shown something to kind of set it up. There was the only kind of thing I got was there was a scene where it seems like Rust is dead. Mm-hmm. And right before he's basically ready to sacrifice himself because he could die, he's setting off explosives.
Yeah.
Cole kind of lingers a bit like, I don't know if I'm okay with this. And I was
like,
well, that could have been it. And in the movie, that's the place I would really explore it, or, get actors with really good chemistry.
Could have seen them kiss then.
I would have liked that.
That could have been cool. Like right before you go sacrifice yourself, like, let me tell you that I've always loved you or something.
Or even just be like, hey, I want to talk about, why did we stop hanging out or something?
Yeah, because that was really the vibe, was that they were friends. They were old friends who drifted apart. And then Quinn looks over and they're kissing. And it just...
And she's shocked. We're shocked.
Everybody's shocked.
But here's the problem with the second one. One, I've not yet have they kissed or held hands or done anything romantic. The worst part is they don't like each other.
They fight all the time.
They fight the whole time. They're constantly in the writing, whether it's from regardless of whose point of view, they're constantly thinking about what they don't like about the other person.
And then there's hints that Cole is talking to somebody else.
That he's cheating on him with a guy from their town.
Who's running the haunt. Yeah. And that relationship between that kid and his dad is very reminiscent of the first book and those like but they're like on the same team, but they're like very entrepreneurial and like, I don't know. It's interesting.
But yeah, they're kind of mean to each other, and I don't like it. I don't like them together. They are toxic. They are really bad for each other.
Yeah.
And that's what's been making for me reading this book really hard. Just because I don't like them together. I don't like reading them together. It's bad. We need better representation. I think I like what you said earlier. Say that again.
Oh, just how like, you know, when we're first seeing all these LGBTQ relationships, like getting it all out there, like we need quantity. We just need the representation. But now that we've had mass representation, we need quality representation. We're used to seeing it. We can see it, but now we know what looks good and what doesn't. And this didn't feel like a good quality relationship.
It felt really dishonest, inauthentic.
Yeah.
It felt like the author was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like it feels like I think he's a great author, but I'm getting the vibe from him that if he gives one of his guy friends a hug, he's worried that people are going to think he's gay. Like that's the kind of vibe I'm getting.
I felt more like he was just trying to do something that he didn't know how to do, even like whether, you know, it was that or not, or like he was like, well, this is where we live in. I have to try to write something like this. And he just didn't know how to do it, or his producers or whoever.
Like I'm not saying
you got to do this.
Obviously he's not homophobic because he's trying.
Yeah.
Maybe he's overthinking it.
Maybe it has nothing to, maybe, I don't know. And maybe it just doesn't fit in the story.
Maybe it just doesn't. Maybe he had a whole outline and they're like, you need to include this, which sucks. Like it makes me think of a movie I really like called The Final Girls, which is about a girl and her mother. It's a slasher story. And I don't need to get into the whole plot, but essentially the movie had trouble getting released because they said, if you're going to make it a mother and daughter story, you need to tone down the violence because women don't like violence, which is stupid. I love violence. We love it.
It has to be the right kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Give it to us.
And then they said, otherwise, if you want to keep the violence and make it a real good slasher, you need to turn it into a romantic relationship. And so and they're like, no, that's the core of this. Yeah. So, you know, maybe it was just meddling, behind the scenes meddling.
Maybe. Yeah, they don't even like each other. They don't even like each other.
It makes me sad. Hopefully I don't know. I actually am kind of hoping that they break up and find guys they like.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I don't want to end this on a bad note. Overall, this is a good book, and I think he is really, really talented. This book has a quote by Clive Barker on the cover that's well earned. Adam knows horror. Adam is a great writer. Yeah. Adam does great suspense, great world building. Yeah. I think this is my favorite book that we've read for Bloody Book Club. So I highly, highly recommend it.
So far, it's my favorite too. I really like the first one. The Cabinet.
I love that one too. So
that was really good. But this is a close second.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think because I read that like in a day.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. So what is our next book?
Our next book is She is a Haunting. I'm not going to try to say her name because I will say it wrong.
I'm going to say it wrong too. So I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. But it looks beautiful. I took a peek at it. I got it on Kindle for like $8.99. I couldn't find it through the library. All of the chapters are body parts.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
So this is a book. It's kind of looks like it's going to be like a psychological horror type thing. Do you want to read the synopsis?
Sure, I'd love to. A house with a terrifying appetite haunts a broken family in this atmospheric horror, perfect for fans of Mexican Gothic. When Jade Nguyen, I think that's how you say that. Don't know how you say it.
We're sorry.
Arrives in Vietnam for a visit with her estranged father, she has one goal: survive 5 weeks pretending to be happy in the French colonial house Ba is restoring. She always lied to fit in, so if she's straight enough, Vietnamese enough, American enough, she can get out with college money he promised. But the house has other plans. Night after night, Jade wakes up paralyzed. The walls exude a thrumming sound while bugs leave their legs and feelers in places they don't belong. She finds curious traces of her ancestors in the gardens they once tended. And at night, Jade can't ignore the ghost of the beautiful bride who leaves her cryptic warnings. Don't eat. Neither Ba nor her sweet sister Lily believe there is anything strange happening. With help from a delinquent girl, Jade will prove this house, the home her family always wanted, will not rest until it destroys them. Maybe this time she can keep her family together. As she roots out the house's rot, she must also face the truth of who she is and who she must become to save them all.
I'm excited. It's a gorgeous cover, really interesting plot, kind of spooky, haunted. I think, what was our theme? Was it like haunted houses?
I think it was haunted. I don't know, because aren't we reading another one later?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't remember. I think we put it in.
I think it's psychological, actually, isn't it? It's psychological.
Could be.
So yeah, it's kind of like, is she crazy?
Yeah.
Is she not crazy? It looks pretty good. Also, here on Goodreads, this is where we do all our stuff in the meantime. So come here. Here's our group, the Bloody Book Club. So, you know, it's cool, guys. You know, come hang out with us. Come read books with us.
Come talk with us.
You can come here. You can see what we're reading, what we're reading next. And we've got all of our themes and our reading lists, because we are just so
on top of it.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, it was psychological.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah, we got our summer read, our fall reads. We are set through December.
Yeah. And then Haley did this whole thing. It looks amazing. She did a really great job. There's a place on here too where you can recommend books.
That's true. That's true. So if there's something that maybe you've been wanting to read and you think, hey, if I read it with the book club, it would give me that push.
Absolutely.
Or you just love it and you want other people to check it out because they would love it too. There's all that stuff here. So the link is in the description below. You know, join us. It's lovely.
Yeah.
No, that's not the point of a book club, Danny.
We read it together.
We read it together.
Yes.
So hopefully more of you will read the books with us. Yeah, it's only one book a month.
Yeah.
You know, space it out. The last book was a super easy read, but if it's a slower read, just try to do like 25% of the book in a week.
Yeah.
So
yeah, audiobooks always help too. If you can find audiobooks, you can listen while you drive, or some people can listen while they work.
Yeah, you're doing household chores or something. Driving is a good one. Dan likes to listen to audiobooks when he goes to bed.
Yeah. I want to pay attention.
I know. I end up falling asleep, but then I can't find my spot. It makes me sad.
I'm so excited for all of these books.
We have so many good books. We got a mixture of older reads, not old. You know, we've got classics. We're going to be reading Exorcist later this year. We've got some funny books. We've got a big array of authors, you know, male, female, all kinds of people. Big names like Stephen King, new authors. So yeah, I think we've got the full spectrum of the horrors.
Yeah. It's going to be really fun, you guys. Yeah. Come join us.
Join us. Read books with us.
Yes.
Because it's a lot more fun to discuss with you guys in the chat. The book, if you're reading it too. And Rich, I know you read, so get the book.
Yeah.
I think I have a link, but you can find this book on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It's available in all the places.
Yeah.
You can always look. What is the name of the online library thing?
Hoopla.
I
could not find it there. I also looked on Libby and I could not find it there. So I ended up buying it.
Yeah, and you can, you don't have to have a tablet to read a Kindle book.
No,
you can download the app on your phone.
And I read it this way. It helps me get through it faster.
So yeah, there's lots of ways to read books. You can read books digitally. You can read books with the audiobook. Here's a hint, and I'm not sponsored by Audible, but Audible is really cool. If you sign up, you get your first book free, and you get to keep that book for forever.
And it's cheaper to do it with your monthly subscription than to buy an audiobook. Audiobooks are still like $50. It's crazy. Yeah. But if you get the subscription, it's like $15 a month. Sometimes too, you can buy like extra credits. And I've done that in the past too.
A lot of the classics, like if you get Dracula or something, you're going to get real cheap.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. So,
or if you have like Kindle Unlimited or something, you can sometimes get those for free.
That's true.
Yeah.
So if you're just getting into reading, that's a good way to do it. Sign up for your free Audible book. Grab yourself this one, read it with us, discuss it with us. You know, we're in it with you guys. You know, it's like a support group.
Yeah.
Check in after you've read 25%, see what we're thinking. It's a lot of fun. Reading. It's fundamental. Last year, I think I didn't read a single dang book. So
I read 2 books last year. This year, my goal was 20, and I think I'm at 9.
I think my goal this year is 22.
I think I'll pass 20.
I was trying to keep it reasonable, but yeah, back in the day, I would read a lot of books. I have a goal of 22. I'm one book behind now.
I like it.
But you know what? A way I cheat sometimes, I'll read like a graphic novel.
That counts.
It does count.
That counts. I will go back and read a book I've read before.
You know, look at the brains here.
It works. I read, 3 of the books that I read this year were Harry Potter books. So
there you go.
And I read those like 42 times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys will join us. If not, I guess you can just listen to us talk about books. But yeah, and then the first Thursday of every month is when we do the live stream. So our next live stream is actually the 1st of June.
Great. That's good.
So that's an easy one to remember, guys. Come back the 1st of June. It'll be 7 o'clock. All my live streams are at 7 now. Super easy to remember. That's the gory time of day.
7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
You're welcome. Or is it daylight time now? I don't know.
I don't even know. All right. It's just right now it's 8 o'clock. So if you don't live on the West Coast of America, it's not 8 o'clock. You know, there's math you can do.
We're not going to do it for you.
We're not going to do it for you.
Sorry.
Yeah. You're on the East Coast. You're like 3 hours ahead. You're in the future. Like you're already getting all like the information. So, I mean, you don't need me to help you.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're in a weird mood.
We are. I like it though.
It.
That was great. That was a fun book. It was a really quick book. I totally recommend it. Read it. I think I read it in like a week and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
We had to kind of slow ourselves down a bit on it. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what makes me really happy? I don't think we even did this intentionally, but it is Asian American and Pacific Islander month.
Oh my goodness.
And perfectly, the author of this book is Vietnamese.
Yes. I love it.
Dude, that was perfect. So now you should do it to celebrate
Asian American and Pacific Islander month.
You should.
Yeah. We're doing it.
Yeah. So, and this is another one. It's kind of booked into YA, but it looks like it's dealing with something. Don't be turned off by a book because it says it's YA.
No,
it generally just means it has teenagers in it.
I didn't get that vibe about the last one at all. I didn't even know it until you said it that it was. So,
sometimes they're a little bit easier to read, but yeah, don't let that be a turn off to you. I know a lot of the reviews I read for Clown in a Cornfield are like, oh, this is what YA is. This is cool.
Yeah.
It just means young adult. It means it's basically, it means the target demographic is people in their 20s. So, it's not like it's like middle grade, which is middle school books. Right. And it's LGBTQ. I'm pretty sure the author is. So like I'm looking for, I feel like we're going to get good representative writing there, which is the only complaint I had. Everything else perfect for the last book.
I agree. 100%. 4.5 stars out of 5.
4.5. 4.5. Yes. Cool. Okay. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm sure I'll think of other things. Maybe I'll do like a follow-up, like a post-stream thought on the book in Goodreads or something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you for watching us.
In the comments below, we would like you to give us creepy ideas for Kayla's name.
Oh yeah, I need a YouTube
things
name.
That go with Kayla.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to get her like just longer.
Yeah.
And creepier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy Kayla.
Yeah, creepy Kayla, killer Kayla. Yeah, think on it and leave it in the comment below. And if you read the book, let us know what you thought of it.
100%.
And until we meet again,
blessed be.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.